First, let me pinch myself to make sure I'm not dreaming. Ouch! I forgot I was a giant crab!
Here we go again, folks. Let's get the obligatory good news everyone out of the way because we have the official trailer for the next season of Futurama on Hulu. And dubbed as Season 12 due to the chaotic broadcast order for the show, the new season contains yet another 10 episodes. The first of which, titled The One Amigo, is scheduled to premiere on July 29th, with episodes dropping weekly every Monday. And generally speaking, I'm kind of surprised there's not been more promotion for Futurama being brought back for streaming. Clearly the first batch of episodes did extremely well, resulting in an unexpected renewal for an additional 20 episodes on top of what we already got. But I find it somewhat bizarre to see comments floating around from people saying, wait, Futurama is still going, I had no idea it was brought back, etc. I get that not everybody can be kept in the loop, but maybe Hulu and Disney should be pushing harder on their marketing front. I say that with obviously the best intentions because of course I want this show to succeed. Having said that, I am extremely excited to see more of the Planet Express crew, and based on the summary for this run of episodes, we'll read through this where they are described as mind-bending adventures. And this includes playing birthday party games to the death, which I think we can easily interpret that as the Squid Game parody, where one of the episode titles is Quid's Game. The Secrets of Bender's Ancestral Robot Village, which I believe is going to be the focus of the premiere episode. AI Friends and Enemies, which is a bit more open to interpretation. Impossibly Cute Beanbags is another vague description. The true 5 million year old story behind the consciousness-altering substance known as coffee. Strangely, this was given a heavy focus in the official trailer, where we see a group of apes enjoying their coffee. I'm getting very strong 2001: A Space Odyssey vibes from the way this scene has been constructed, which is a little bit obvious as far as a reference goes, but it is what it is. As expected, we have, as it's described, the next chapter in Fry and Leela's fateful time-twisted romance. Fry and Leela's relationship has been one of the main story points throughout the entirety of Futurama, going from a will they, won't they scenario to actually moving in together in the last season. This is part of the show that has me very intrigued, especially because usually once the couple has actually got together, usually that's it, and the adventure is done with. But the way Futurama writes their characters, in particular the on-screen romance and relationships, nothing is ever really that simple, which keeps the audience hooked. Looking beyond this trailer, all the episode titles and a few descriptions can be found online, and admittedly, some of these stories do sound a little bit meh. Based on the descriptions alone, whether or not the leaks are actually trustworthy, that's really up to interpretation until the episodes have obviously aired. But for this video, I thought it'd be fun to go through the trailer footage and see what elements of Futurama lore we can piece together about the world of tomorrow and match with the episode titles. For starters, I really do like the new poster featuring, of course, all of the main characters and Scruffy the janitor. And I do find it really funny that he's getting a lot more attention, and he should. The man is a majority holder of Planet Express shares, after all.
Scruffy believes in this company.
The official trailer for Season 12 dropped exclusively via IGN, and surprisingly this has given us a lot more content to analyse than expected. Several weeks ago, a teaser did drop online as well for the new episodes, but there was very little content from that to really talk about. But anyway, going in chronological order, let's start with The First Amigo. Rekindling Bender's Mexican heritage is a great way to start the new season, and I love how layered his origins are. The most we've really seen of this sort of thing being from the Inspector 5 episode from the first season of the Comedy Central run. And with all of this in mind, however, unfortunately the show is still guilty of choosing modern topical subjects that just aren't all that relevant anymore. I appreciate Futurama has always referenced current world events and popular culture, but the catalyst for this episode apparently revolves around Bender selling an NFT representing the concept of Bender. And in fairness to the show, these episodes are written about a year in advance, maybe longer, but I found that certain topics just don't stick around long enough to remain current and humorous. A show like South Park can get away with biting levels of satire that remain funny once they've aired because they are fortunate enough to have such a quick turnaround for their show. South Park has already done stuff about NFTs, which I would personally view as old news at this point. and I'm hopeful that the focus will just remain on Bender and that we can perhaps just accept the whole NFT stuff for what it is, and maybe not dwell on it too much. Otherwise, if the episode is just a shopping list of obvious jokes similar to the Explovid episode, that will become tiresome very quickly.
Why is everyone but me so stupid?
One that I touched on before, a Quids game where aliens invade and force the Planet Express crew to reenact games played at Fry's 8th birthday party to the death. There's hopefully going to be a lot more to this, giving me similar vibes to the episode Game of Tones, where we last saw elements of Fry's past. And the trailer does have a couple of shots specifically of Fry that do look as though they belong to this episode. One that surprised me was seeing Fry's childhood home once again, and I'm definitely intrigued by this story, and I have a feeling this might be one of those rare emotional episodes of Futurama that become all the more memorable. Surprisingly, we have yet another Fry-specific episode, being The Temp. And I do appreciate Fry getting more attention in this run of episodes. He had a few standout moments last season, but beyond the streaming episode, I felt he was very heavily sidelined. Maybe that's just me, you can let me know in the comments if you felt similar about Fry's usage in the first Hulu revival, but another intriguing premise for sure for this storyline, where a mysterious temp worker takes over Fry's job and his entire life in the process. This could even perhaps be a Leela-specific episode, maybe her trying to rescue Fry, since they're at their closest at this point in the show. And there's a shot of the pair with Leela crying, so maybe that could be part of this story, we'll just have to wait and see. Next up is Beauty and the Bug, where Bender becomes a matador or bullfighter in the sport of bug fighting. And I imagine this links to the footage seen in the teaser with the crew visiting Mars and the Wong family farmland, and it looks like Amy's bugalow, Betsy, may be featured in this one, which is fun to see, honouring minor named characters or animals from the original episodes. And the last two episode descriptions are a little bit vague, being one is silicon and the other gold, where Leela befriends a jealous chatbot. And episodes like this interest me because they could either be really inventive or just outright mediocre, and artificial intelligence is already a standard thing in the year 3000. Robots are nothing new or to be excited about, so a chatbot doesn't really hold any weight compared to just having a conversation with Bender, for example.
Artificial?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Why'd you have to tell me? You just ruined my life!
I don't know, I guess we'll have to wait and see where this one goes. And next we have Attack of the Cloves, which could be fun, giving the Professor a story of his own, and I think he does deserve a full episode. Honestly being one of the funniest parts of the previous 10 episodes for me personally. And it sounds like he's making a fashion label of all things, but with lethal consequences for the environment. And with a few trailer shots that appear to be part of this, I do have high hopes for this episode, despite the very unimaginative title. The last 4 episodes unfortunately do not have descriptions, but we can piece together for the most part what they relate to. For example, Planet Espresso is obviously going to be the Monkey Coffee episode, which I'm hopeful should be entertaining. Cuteness Overlord may link to this shot of Zap Brannigan firing a laser gun in what looks like a toy shop maybe. Kinda bizarre. The Futurama Mystery Library is obviously going to be another anthology episode, and if it's anything like the last one, oh boy.
I guess you really don't want to shoot me after all.
Oop, safety was on.
And last up we have Otherwise, being another Ken Keeler written conclusion to the show, which likely would have been the end had another 20 episodes not been ordered. And finale episodes do thankfully have a track record of being some of the show's best stories, and my personal hope for this one is that it will connect to an open plot point in the episode The Why of Fry, and where Fry travels back in time to stop Nibbler from cryogenically freezing him. They talk about the future, what's worth saving, where Nibbler refers to Leela as the Other. And this has never been answered, and apparently the stuff between Fry and the Nibblonians does go much further, so again, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Futurama has lots of potential looking ahead, and I cannot wait to see how this new season performs overall. The trailer has a lot of eye-catching moments featuring a lot of characters that I am excited to see on screen again, and one part that really caught my attention, which I hope I am correct, is the possible return of Marianne, Zoidberg's girlfriend. In the last Comedy Central run, Zoidberg was very fortunate and met the woman of his dreams, and luckily for the story, it ended on a positive note. The pair were still together, and it seemed promising that for the revival, this would remain true, but sadly, Marianne was not featured in the last season, even though there was ample opportunity to feature her. But in the new trailer, Zoidberg is seen dancing with a woman who looks very much like her. Different hair color, but the face is somewhat similar. I hope they have managed to bring back this character. Some fans couldn't give a shit either way, but I really enjoyed the episode, and it'd be great to see some more exploration of that angle of Zoidberg. Anyway, that's going to wrap up this video discussing what we know so far about the upcoming season of Futurama on Hulu. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to leave me a like down below. I will likely review each episode as they drop throughout July until September, so keep an eye on the channel if you are interested. I also did review the entirety of the last season, which you can find that as a playlist for those who want a deep dive or a refresher on season 11. Let me know in the comments if you're excited for more Futurama and for more content. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, DVD Review Studios.
Are you threatening me?